Hello everyone, welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. Today we're testing out something new on Hell in a Very Small Place, and I'm playing against Feanor, the Lieutenant General, who is one of the most successful 1v1 players in all of Wargame. It's very, very hard to get to Lieutenant General, let alone even Major General, and I of course am Brigadier and have been for some time. Now, Israel is a deck that I've been trying out a bit more in Ranked and in 1v1 lately. It's historically a deck that I've really struggled with. And so I had asked Feanor for a couple of friendlies. We're testing this out on the common convention bad side of Hell. And my opener is 2 tanks. I have a 3B, I have a Gimel, I have a fair amount of militia and infantry, and my intention was just to make sure that I don't get rotated too hard into Bravo at first, and then I had wanted to go ahead and use these tanks to push into Golf. Now, behind a lot of militia, something like a 3B and a Gimel was supposed to deal decently well with my opponent's opener infantry and also be able to deal with their tanks at mid-ranges, which this sort of is not a full-length tank engagement all the time, especially if you get up into this section of the woods. But here we have the first visibility on Feanor's opener, and he's going hard into this section of woods. Now, at least that's what it appeared like at the time for me, and if this has never happened to you before, if this has never been done to you before, it can be very worrisome. Your opponent can get in here, push for this section of town, push for up top on plateau, and it can be pretty rough. So I am rotating my tanks back. I left a couple units of infantry there. I probably should have pulled a couple more Rovite over into the top of Foxtrot, but I wanted to make sure that I secured the town and secured the woods with just even a little bit of a token force, and this is already some pretty bad trading. So Feanor's playing Landjut, double Leopard 2A4, automatic spotted there, a lot of heavy-duty stuff going on, and his smoke is preventing me from getting consistent ATGM fire down this sort of ramp, which had definitely been one of the ways that I had intended to fend him off, because a lot of people won't necessarily look at that. You can get some nice pickups there over the ramp, but now we have tanks coming in, we have Dragoner coming in, this entire mob of units here from Landjut moving forward, and Dragoner, Live Garden, boxes, things like that. Moglon can't stand against them alone. So I have my tanks, we are on either side of the ramp, and my intention was get the Magok coming up here to the forest and the 3B on this side, and maybe have fire coming from 2 directions against my opponent's push, which is now reaching the top part of the plateau. And may I just take a second here to say I firmly believe that people should practice against those who are higher rank, who are difficult challenges for them, because you know, you don't always get to pick your opponent, especially in rank. Now, double 2A4, cresting the ridge here. I take a little bit of fire. I was looking to return fire, but I don't quite get it. A little bit too skittish there on my part, and the Magok 7C Gimel was coming up looking for a creative angle, shall we say. But very nice pullback, and all of a sudden, all I've gotten from this are more M41A1s. Now, that is not the end of the world for trading, because what we're doing is we're thinning out the tools ahead of that 2A4. So there were about 4 or 5 of these. Now there's just 1. There are some infantry still, but there's not all that much in front of the 2A4. And if I can deal with that while I still have some militia here and some infantry here and 2 decently healthy tanks, then this could turn into a pretty good engagement. And it does definitely flip one way or another pretty soon, because we are at 7 minutes into a 10.5 minute game, which is not a long time at all. So either I'm going to get these kills, or it's going to go real bad for me real quick. So Magok, not quite sure what to do. Merkava looking for that pickup, gets Dragoner instead, automatic now up here, and this thing will absolutely shred my militia even more than the double 2A4 is doing. Now, Dragoner pushing over on this side, Feanor is spreading me out, making sure that I can't focus entirely on dealing with the top part of Foxtrot, and I do have militia coming up, I do have some Shiatet coming up, specifically because I was expecting to need to hold this section of town, so I've actually anticipated this and sent some infantry over. And Shiatet aren't the best, but they are still elites and will be able to fend off Dragoner either in the town or whatever is coming up to back them up. Now, I do also have a Gimel. This was one of my first other buys, and this is probably not a good buy. So when you see things like a 2A4, they're 130 points, but they do heavily outclass Magok 7Cs. And so my intention here to replace my front line of militia to get 1, 2, 3 tanks up here and the Kurnos, it could very well work. We have the 2A4s, they're both right here, and the Kurnos not quickly microed enough to go in and drop bombs. So Bit of a missed opportunity, but I strongly suspect that the 2A4s are in the section of woods, and if I can force him to be there, there it is. Kurnos, nope, not in the way again. Another little missed opportunity, but we are nearly able to turn, not quite. I didn't want to dive too far, and the tanks do split as well, so if I had gone in for the click there, it's not necessarily certain that I would have gotten those 2A4s, because the 2A4 split would have retargeted this Kurnos, and I think that was actually not, if I recall correctly, wait, was that, are they damaged? No, those are full strength, yeah. Yeah, well, oh well, it happens sometimes. Importantly, you guys would have seen there in neutral, infantry moving up to the section of woods. I did not. So that was hidden to me, and that's going to be very important here in just a second as we finally crest the ridge with militia. There's something over here, but I couldn't tell quite what. I didn't stop to look into it. I was focusing on that 2A4, and I figured, you know what? My militia and my Zaklam are up here, the 2A4's in the woods. Now's the time. So the Kurnos is going to come in. We get 1-2 missiles away, taken out by an automatic, and no kill on the tank. And that is a huge, 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 huge swing. Instead of getting a 130-point pickup and getting out, I lose a 150-point unit, and the 2A4 gets out, so alright, not nearly ideal. I do have Shaita on the side, I do have Rovite on the side. If this went long, I could probably get good pickups with these infantry on the side, but there's Fallschirm into Bravo, and I'm going to be losing this Bravo side. My Moglan are dead, Fallschirmjäger are alive, Bravo is not controlled, and all of a sudden, all of a sudden I'm fighting over the edge of a center zone when I've already lost a flank entirely and didn't capture a flank in return. So this opener from Feanor, very, very deadly. Should probably be something to try out later on, I'd say. If I ever play on that side of hell again, I feel like I very rarely do. And you know what, I figured, alright, fine. Not the best opportunity here, but at least we have to try. And I lose my Merkava to some Fallschirmjäger 90, and that's going to be the game. Very, very nice trading on Feanor's part. Very, very difficult game. I just wasn't expecting that opener, and definitely got punished for not being able to respond quick enough and in the appropriate manner, really just not being able to get shots on his 2A4s. If there is one thing that I really, really need to work on these days, it is my tank engagement. So we're hopefully going to be doing some of that and showing you guys the results later on. But that's all I've got for you today. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.